and a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Gord, your hurtin' hippie here from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, on this somewhat cold, almost spring day. Cheers. It is -6, feels like -9, going to about 0 or 1 today. And it's going to stay around 0 or 1 for a couple of days, then warm up, supposedly. But we'll wait and see. I have a good talk today brought to you by Johnathan Taylor asking about it. And I'm not sure if you're all going to agree with my take on it, but you watch me to hear my take. Not because you always agree with me, but because you're curious what I think. And I like that. But first, we do have to get through some of the what's been going on. Well, first of all, a lot of you are asking about this. I finally went out and bought a wrist brace because for 5 days I've been battling a really badly sprained either wrist or thumb. Always hard to really tell. I do think it's the thumb and the tendons around it. Reason I think so is about 3 months ago, actually opening a legal cannabis stupid jar they have stupid jars. Who sells pot in little plastic jars? They do. But in trying to open it, the damn childproof lid, you show me alcohol with childproof lid, there I go on a tangent again, and trying to get it open, and I badly sprained my thumb and wrist. Even went to the doctor and she said, just immobilize it, give it time, it should heal. It could take quite a long time. Then, just recently, about 4 or 5 days ago, remaking my bed. I have what's called a heavy blanket, and they are surprising heavy. Frick, they're heavy. And I think I pulled it again, and it has gotten steadily worse. And I was putting a tensor bandage on it, but steadily worse, to the point that the pain was excruciating. People across, it was just excruciating. So I finally put this on, and it's helping. That's a long story for that. Also, check out that link because of that picture. Yeah, I went to the vape store. I went to my local cannabis store that I really enjoy, and I found that their vapes were fairly cheap. So I do a little bit of a rundown in that video. I won't go much into it now. And let's see, I'm trying to, there's one other new surprise. You might all remember, Eddie for sure remembers, because he was wanting a music duet between me and Pasha on the drums, me on my guitar. Well, the duet never happened because Pasha never really caught on to the drums. He had a knack for it. He had an affinity for it, but he didn't like it, and he just didn't play it. But my ex-wife has my old piano, my old keyboards, and they took it out and put it up and got him online lessons, and oh my goodness, he's got a knack. So I went out and got a new keyboard for this house, so he has one at each house. And let's just actually put it full screen. It's sweet. That's him after a week of lessons, and he's teaching himself. He's got a natural affinity for music, and I want him to find the instrument that's really going to work for him. Next year in school, he can join band, and I hope he does. So I have I have 4 kids. They're all very musical. From my youngest, Pasha, learning the piano, not bad at the guitar. Then Gordy, he plays the trumpet, 2 different trumpets. My middle girl plays trombone and did so all the way till grade 11 or 12. And my oldest girl plays one hell of a stereo. Anyways, friends, to the subject of the day, bullying by Johnathan Taylor. My friends, and I gotta say, I don't know if my thoughts on bullying are going to reflect or be opposite of John. He just asked me to talk about it, and I said I would. And I do have a very close relationship with bullying. I was bullied from, grade 4 on to about grade 6, near the end of grade 6, where Pasha is now. And my dad got me into judo, and I started fighting back. And I spent a year and a half fighting. I was in the school that had an awful lot of bullies. Once I fought one, that bully left me alone, but a few others would go, oh, he's a fighter, is he? In today's world, that kind of bully doesn't exist much. But did bullying help me? And for sure it did. For sure it did. It turned a little meek young boy into a social, fun, more confident young man who grew up into being what I am now, just an older guy at home. Not as much confidence as he used to have, but mostly only because of health. So, am I pitter patter get at her, Gord? See, Pasha was bullied too. Yeah, before I give my opinion, Pasha was bullied too. Young Gordy was never bullied. Young Gordy was tough enough going through school that people were a little bit, and he had friends. He had good friends. So, but Pasha was bullied. And Pasha was not just bullied by another student. After he finally got rid of his bully, he had a whole year with a bully as a teacher. And that's a whole new aspect of bullying that life is full of. Life is full of it. The bully does not have to be a person in your grade or in your school. It could be your teacher, it could be your parent, it could be your neighbor. It's hard to say, but let me just say this. Let me say this very strongly. Bullies will never go away. And I was so happy when I went 2 months ago, to a nighttime 3.5 hour talk about bullies at our school. And I was so happy to hear the way they're working on it. They're starting to go by the way of the Nordic countries that have, I'd like to say, eradicated bullying, but they haven't. Because in their own mantra, in their own thoughts, in their own philosophy, bullying is something that never goes away, and it has a positive aspect to it. It just, first of all, think of the bully. The bully is usually somebody who is bullied either at home or has a horrible home life or has some aspect to their life that is not good. And we don't treat bullies very well. We don't do well by cowtailing to them, and that's what they did with Pasha. For the first year, he's complaining about being bullied, and we keep getting told. We even give names and say, I'd like to meet with their parents. And no, you don't understand. That boy's going through an awful lot, and he's got this and that, and we don't get parents involved with other parents. We just don't do that. And they just kept letting it go. And Pasha kept getting more and more frustrated, to the point that I gave him the same advice my father gave him. You got to start warning them that you've had enough. And if they don't accept it, warn them stronger that it's going to get physical. And if they don't accept it, hit them, knock them down, put them on the ground, mean it, and live up to the consequences that will come. Pasha finally, I get a call one day, and wham. He hit a kid, he knocked him down. Pasha's not a small boy, and he warned the boy over and over. Yet I was called because Pasha's fighting. So we went in there, me and his mom stood up against that school and told them, you have been ignoring the bullies that are attacking my boy for almost a full year. And he is frustrated, and he did what we told him to do, and he will do it again if you don't start handling the bully. And he was not bullied again that year. But, sorry. There was a part before that. Let's back this up a little bit and say, just before that happened, we got a call at the school, and they sounded panicked. Pasha is suicidal. Oh my God, why? Why do you say such a thing about my son? Well, I was looking at his journal, and on the corner of a page he wrote, dead. I wish I were dead. And I says, well, I'll come to the school to talk to you about it, but you're not going to like my response. So I get to the school, and I first take Pasha aside, and I said, Pasha, I need to know why you wrote that. And he says, because I'm tired of this bullying, and I'm tired, I can't go to a teacher about it because they do nothing about it. So we had a really long talk where finally the principal stood up and said, they're making a lot of sense. We even got my doctor involved, who said, this boy is an intelligent, forward-thinking, thoughtful young man. There's no way he wrote that except out of frustration to force your hand. And that's when they finally started looking into it, but they still weren't doing anything. They were making excuses for the bully, to the point that I told Pasha to do that, and then that came about, and that ended his bullying. He felt strong enough, yet he got in a little bit of trouble for a little bit while he enforced his strength a little bit too much, because he got a little bit too much confidence. The pendulum always swings a little too far until you adjust. But he has done amazing since. The difficult thing was dealing with a teacher who was a bully, because there was zero we could do. I even had this principal kind of, he could never agree with me that teacher is a bully, but I think he agreed with me that teacher was a bully. So, now that you know my history of bullying, do I think we should eradicate bullying? No, because I think that's a silly thing. Are we going to eradicate racism? No. Are we going to eradicate just rude, mean people? No. We are a dichotomy of strange personalities from left to right, from up to down, from middle to bottom and top. We are an eclectic collection of weird brain matter, and we will always have really positive people, really negative people, really tough people, really weak people. We will always have the extremes, and in the middle will be most of us, and those on the extremes are struggling to find the middle, and those in the middle are struggling to find the outside. All we need to do is have better control, catch the bullies early, and treat both sides. The bully needs some help. Maybe in just giving them more fun things to do with their days and with their evenings, to try and move their mind away from whatever is hurting them. Maybe even the state sometimes getting involved. I hate that. And the state shouldn't be involved. But you won't get rid of the bully by ignoring him. You won't get rid of the bully by placating him. And you just won't get rid of the bully. We will not get rid of the negative side of our life. And if we did, if there is no bad, therefore there is no good. If you do not have the opposite to compare it to, we would have such a blah existence. And maybe some people want it. Blah, no excitement, no extremes. But we are an animal of extreme. We're always searching out more. There's a reason we're trying to go to Mars. There's a reason we go to space. There's a reason they went across the ocean years ago. Because we're curious, because we want to expand our knowledge, and in that we need to involve as many people as possible, and we can't make them all the same or we ruin what we're doing. Friends, that's my take on bullying. We need people to be more aware, and if you see someone being bullied, you got to say something. And if you are involved in bullying, remember the bully needs as much help as the bullied. And somewhere, most of these people who are bullied grow up stronger, more effective. Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, Google heads, most of these really big, Jeff Bezos, were all people who were bullied when they were younger, and it drove them to incredible success. But some of them, yes, you can't just take one thing and say, therefore bullying should exist. I'm not saying it should. It does. It just does. And it is up to us as parents that if our kids are bullied, that we try to make it increase their personality, their strengths, their understanding of those around them. I even got Pasha to feel sad for his bully. So, that's empathy. Anyways, you know what time it is now. Gord's got new little known facts, and we're going to start with just a couple. The scientific term for brain freeze is, and I'll put it below, sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. I actually said that pretty good. Next one's about Canadians. Canadians say sorry so much that a law was passed in 2009 declaring that an apology cannot be used as evidence of admission to guilt. Sorry. Friends, peace and cheers, love and harmony. Catch you on Monday. Peace.